Mr. Cumming.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. And I want to thank everyone for their great presentations. I wish I had more time to ask all of you questions, but I don't. I will start off with Co-op Canada. Housing, so both housing affordability and affordable housing, one of the top two issues during the election, the recent election. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of interest in my riding. And I'm downtown West Toronto. There's a lot of interest from a number of groups to actually create more co-op housing. I want to get started with what we've done so far. My understanding is that we have, through the National Housing Strategy, actually provided funding down to CMHC for those that are interested in creating new co-op housing. And then the other thing I thought we had also done was renew operating agreements that had come due for co-ops, and then provide a bit of a 6-month bridging support that might be needed for those. Am I right on what we've done so far? Can you just answer very quickly?
Generally, yes. So the renewal of what were called operating agreements is underway. Yeah. It's being replaced with rental assistance to low-income households.
Okay, which is what you call long-term rental assistance program. Okay.
So, and that's underway. We're really looking forward to the launch of the Federal Community Housing Initiative on April 1. Okay. That'll secure the affordability for 55,000 households in community housing across the country. In terms of new funds to start new co-ops, it's a bit of a yes and no. There are new supply programs called, for example, the Co-Investment Fund, and any group can apply, whether you're the largest private developer in a city or the smallest, even an unincorporated group that's just incorporated yesterday. So an issue, with the exception of Quebec and now in Vancouver, the development capacity has really been lost within the community housing and cooperative housing sector over the last 30 years due to the cancellation of supply programs in 93. So that's why we are wanting to really focus on that issue and start with the $300 million Quick Start Fund for new co-op development.
Okay, so I was going to raise that because the biggest issue we are facing is that people don't have the capacity. They have no clue other than they want to do it. They want to use their space to do it. They have some capital to contribute. But that whole other portion of how to develop it and then actually how to run it, completely different. So you're saying that your $300 million Quick Start Fund would include some dollars for the capacity to be able to actually create the plan and then actually run a co-op moving forward. Okay, that's helpful. You've also mentioned the Enhanced Federal Land Initiative, $15 million federal lands transfer. Do you have a mapping of these federal lands that you'd be targeting across the country? Do you already have a sense about that?
The information on that is scattered. Lands, as they become available, are posted on CMHC's website on its own program page. So there is no comprehensive view that at least I know of that's been made public.
So unfortunately, I have to cut you off. But if you have any information that might be able to be helpful to us on that would be great. I just want to turn my attention very quickly to Mr. Davis. The Community Food Centres of Canada, who's located in my riding, has been a very big advocate around making disability tax credits refundable. They're big believers that what happens is, unless we do that, they believe it's a gap in our poverty reduction strategy, and so us actually making it refundable will actually reduce food insecurity. And so my question to you is, do you have an understanding of what the cost would be to government if we were to make it refundable?
Great question. So in our work, in our advocacy work, we often get asked that question from elected officials. So last year we partnered with the Conference Board of Canada to answer 2 questions. What's the cost of making the DTC refundable? And what's the cost of making EI sickness benefits more flexible? Mm-hmm. It's about $1 billion investment, but the modeling that the Conference Board did shows an obvious return. Mm-hmm. And of course, with MS and other diseases, when MS takes you out of the workforce, the disability tax credit, I'm not the accountant in the room, but if you don't have enough income, it's about as valuable as monopoly money.
That's what
so we absolutely need to make that refundable.
Would you mind?
Sorry, Julie. At a time, we'll split the